Yeah, bring something to write on. It's going to be more of like a really like sort of classroom teaching session, and I will be asking you things about your symptoms, so you'll have to jot them down. So I believe that's tomorrow's class. It's in your email. If it is tomorrow's class, then please do that. Bring a pen and paper. And also, ladies, don't forget to, when I put the replay of each class on the group and I say, please share your takeaways. Please share your takeaways, ladies. At least one, but ideally 1 to 3 takeaways after each class, because this is also another layer of learning. So one layer of learning is reading the material, one layer of learning is applying the material, one layer is coming in here and listening. Another layer is focusing on, right, what really resonated with me the most during today's class, like what really stayed with me, and then sharing that with us. Quick reminder, ladies, I am available to answer your questions in the group technically between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Obviously, last week, because I wasn't here, I was away, so I was trying to come in and answer whenever I could. Also, the first week, there's a little bit of, everybody's a bit nervous, a little bit panicky. So I try to make sure to answer your questions as much as I can, even if it's outside of those hours. But moving forward this week, you know what you're doing. Trust yourself more. You don't need me to answer every little single question for you, right? Start to build that confidence and trust within your body. So I will only be answering your questions between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m., whether that's the group, whether that's email, either one. All right, ladies. There is a process definitely where I don't like to call it hand holding, but it kind of is during this program. But at some point, right, you have to trust your gut when you have a question about, should I have an apple or a date? Or should I have the lemon balm or something else? Start to listen to your gut. You can't do this wrong. I can't keep repeating. You can't do this wrong. So listen to what your gut tells you and think, well, if I was to ask this question, probably then I would say what? Start to ask yourself that, because you want to start to become independent on this journey, right? You get the guidance and the support, and you will get it for the 3 months. But at the same time, you're also building up, really tuning in and being in tune with what your gut is telling you about yourself, right? So and a good example of that is the bloating. So right now you're not sure about the bloating, or right now you're not sure about the symptoms because you've never felt them before. You've never had this discomfort before. So your gut is kind of worried because it's never experienced it before. So naturally, you want the support and the guidance as you go through it. Once you start to reverse all of this, and once you start to feel better, let's say it continues for another 2, 3 months, and you're out of the detox withdrawal symptom phase. And then you might think maybe potentially something is off, right? And in that instance, you would listen to your gut, like something is not right. Like, I know it's not a detox withdrawal symptom. I know I've gone through this already. I know I haven't changed anything with what I'm eating. So listening to your body becomes really, really important. We are going to go through a process here where we're detoxing, and then we're going to learn about our emotions so we can start to tell the difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger. But ideally, by the end of this program, part of the healing process is that you start to learn how to eat mindfully. A lot of women tell me, they'll message me and say, I really want to do your program, but I can't stop drinking coffee right now. And I can't stop, eating all my comfort foods. It's a really stressful time for me. So I'm just going to, work on eating mindfully for now. And I have to tell them that doesn't work. Eating mindfully means you are very, very conscious of what you're putting in your body, when and why. And you can't do that when right now you have all of these addictions that are running the show. So if you were drinking coffee, eating bread, eating pasta, eating sugar, eating cakes, eating cookies, any of those things, right? Those foods are incredibly addictive, and they're the ones who tell you and dictate basically what to eat, because as a drug, they need their fix. So there's no way that you could eat mindfully when there's an underlying addiction. It's physically impossible because you're not doing it, you're not eating consciously. You're eating what the addiction is telling you to eat. You also can't eat mindfully if you don't know what your emotional triggers are and you don't know when and why you're eating your emotions. So it's not a physical hunger where you're missing nutrients. It's an emotional hunger where you're hungry for something in your life and you're hungry for companionship or for love or for excitement or for passion, and you don't know how to identify that yet. And then you think you can eat mindfully, doesn't work. So keep this in the back of your mind that right now we're in the first phase of clearing the physical addictions. And then you're going to start to understand and learn to identify your emotional triggers so that we can get to mindful eating, which is eating what you want to eat. And that could be a pizza or a burger or a piece of chocolate cake. But you're doing it mindfully, not because it's an addiction, not because you're upset and you're bored and depressed, but because you make a very clear, concise decision. I'm going to have this chocolate cake now because I want to. No guilt, no shame. And I know my body can handle it. And I know my body is healing and I know my body is resilient. So I'm going to enjoy it 100%. That's mindful eating. And this is where at the beginning, very beginning phases of getting to that stage, because I mean, in an optimal, ideal world, we wouldn't all be dealing with the issues we're dealing with if we learned that from the beginning and we were all eating mindfully from the beginning. But because we have malnutrition and because we have physical hunger, because we have deficiencies, because of toxicity and deficiency, and because we don't learn how to figure out our emotions or our emotional triggers are, we end up eating all this food that actually makes us sick. But once we clear all of that clutter and get to the stage of mindful eating, it means you've healed physically and emotionally and mentally, and you're able to sustain that way of eating moving forward. But that's our ultimate goal. Amira, pomegranates are okay. Pomegranates are amazing. Add them in as much as you want. You can have them alone. You can make a juice out of them midday. Can't do too many pomegranates. Any other comments, questions, shares? I'm going to leave you with this reminder, ladies. Don't panic. Your body knows exactly what it's doing. Anytime the body is showing you what is considered a quote unquote symptom, it is the way the body is healing. Every single symptom of sickness that you've been told before is sickness is nothing more than a sign of healing. Every single flu symptom, a high fever, a runny nose, a sore throat, a cough, diarrhea, joint pain, all of it that you have been told is a problem before and you need to take something to make it go away. These are signs that the body is working, or it's the way the body's trying to communicate with you. If you're not detoxing and you're having these, then it's the body's telling you something's happening. Anytime you're feeling a purge, whether you're detoxing or not, the body has its own self-cleaning process. So even if you haven't initiated these symptoms because you're actually detoxing, let's say it's just you're eating your regular foods, you're not detoxing at all, you're eating the standard foods, and you get a runny nose, and you get a cough, and you get a fever, and you get body aches, right? And it's called a flu, and you're made to feel like this is a problem, you're becoming sick, you need to take something, that's just your body has just initiated its own self-cleaning process because the body's brilliant like that. You have a built-in cleaning process. So whether it's now because we've done it on purpose or whether in the future this happens to you, it does need to happen. We're never going to become 100% where our body doesn't initiate self-cleaning. But what's going to happen because of what you're doing now is the periods between your self-cleaning process are going to be further and farther in between, and they're going to be milder. So if you're somebody whose body self-cleans with a horrible, horrible, horrible flu several times a year, where you have really, really bad fever, you get really bad cough, you're bedridden for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days, and it really takes it out of you. That's just the body cleaning. As painful and as uncomfortable as it is, you're gonna go from that because of what you're doing now to potentially, like you can see with me now, this always happens to me after I travel because I'm not eating the way that I eat, I'm not sleeping the way that I sleep. This is the worst that it gets with me. I get a little bit of a like this. That's it. That's it. And my mom keeps telling me, stop saying this because my mom is afraid of hasad and all these things. But it's the truth. Since I've done this, okay, and I used to get the flu 3 or 4 times a year. Since I've done this, it doesn't happen. I've been around my family members. So my daughter, my husband, and my son on our trip, all of them bedridden for 6 days. And I was sleeping next to my husband. He was blubbering all over me. My son was blubbering all over me. My daughter was, I I didn't get sick. And that's because you build up a very different type of terrain. Yes, they all eat healthy at home, but they all eat all sorts of junk outside of the house. So when you build up your internal terrain to be resilient, it's not going to be flammable. Let's put it that way. So that whatever is going on around you, it triggers you and you flame up inside. It doesn't happen. There has to be mild cleanup on a regular basis because that's how our bodies are built. But when you're seeing these symptoms now, keep reminding yourself, my body is just self-healing. My body is self-cleaning. My body knows what it needs to do. My body is getting rid of what doesn't need to be in my body anymore. Because your bodies are very, very powerful and built to function in a way that is completely miraculous and way out of what we can ever possibly imagine. And what you're doing now is you're tapping into that power. You're just tapping into it. So I know it can feel scary to have a symptom that you've always been told means you're really, really sick and you need to go and take all this medicine, and then to have to switch from that and sort of anchor in that, no, I'm actually healing. There's nothing wrong with me. This actually means that my body's actually working for me. It's not breaking down. It's actually working for me. But really, in all cases, because the worry doesn't just go away instantly, I know that. When you are worried, when you are concerned, please reach out to me and I can help you walk through that. All right? More questions. Can I drink these herbals like cinnamon, hibiscus, ginger with lemon? Yeah, any herbal drinks, anything, as long as it doesn't have caffeine, you can have them. And ideally, if you can make it fresh yourself, it's always preferable, right? So if you can make your own fresh ginger with lemon at home, that's always better. A cinnamon stick, or some cinnamon, you just put in some boiling water, always better. Amira, with the back pain, I found that a hot water bottle helps too. Of course. I really enjoy when you explain how things happen in our body. Quite enlightening. Thanks. You're welcome. I mean, I only wish we all knew this much sooner, right? Like we just like everything that we're having to learn and relearn right now, but it's never too late. And the amazing thing is that we all have families. You all have families. You can pass this information down. We can literally, we have generational patterns of so many things, of wealth, of culture, of religion, of attitudes, of so many things. And we also have generational patterns of health, all of us in our families. And you can literally break the generational pattern of bad health for your family today. And it literally doesn't ever have to continue on with the following generations. That's how powerful it is. At dinner, can I skip the salad again and take fruits? So you mean the vegetables and fruits, or you want to just skip all of it and just have fruits? Also, I want to eliminate dates because I cannot control myself and eat more. Do not eliminate dates. Do not feel like you have to control yourself with the dates or with the fruits or anything. Nobody gains weight from eating straight from nature. It doesn't happen, right? I mean, look at animals in nature, right? Do they count calories? Do they think about the quantities that they're eating? No. Do they, sit and look and wait and see what science has to tell them? No. They know what they were created to eat and they eat that and they're perfectly fine. The same with us. The problem is we are reprogramming. We're going from eating all of this ultra processed food that does make you gain weight, and they tell you to control that. So this is where that mindset comes from, that you need to control something or that you need to worry about portions. Because yeah, if you're eating ultra processed food that the body doesn't know what to do with, of course you have to control it. And at the end of the day, nobody who's in the program right now, and nobody I've ever worked with, has come into the program with an issue, medical issue or symptom or weight gain because they've been overeating fruits. Never. It never happens. So it's because they don't. Everybody's not doing well, and everybody's sick and tired and full of disease and overweight because we don't eat enough from nature and we eat all the processed stuff. So reprogram yourself to be at ease and to be confident with dates and fruits and God's food, right? This is God created these foods. God does not make mistakes. He did not make a date that could potentially make you gain weight or harm you in any way. So enjoy it as much as you want. Is it okay to drink chamomile? Yes, it is. Take vegetables and fruits instead of salad and veggies. Yes, you can do that. Acai is okay in the phase we are in. I wouldn't say in theory, yes, but the commercial acai might have one of two things, either sugar added or what's the other thing? There's something else in ham. I think it's a kind of acid, like a preservative or something, that will not work when you're doing a deep detox. But later on, like to have as a snack or have as something that you're going out to have, yes, by all means. Dates are high calorie. We don't count calories. Calorie is the oldest, most outdated, most inefficient dietetic theory out there. Let it go. It's not about, and again, it wasn't created truly for fruits and vegetables and protein. It was created to monitor how you eat processed foods. So calories only came up when they started having to put labels on food, and they had to break it down for you. It's got so much sugar, so much protein, so many calories. Don't eat more calories than this. It's only because they have to monitor ultra processed foods. And even in that, it doesn't even work. And people get addicted to ultra processed foods and keep eating more and more. Drop the calorie thing. You can't overeat fruits. I mean, look, you cannot eat the salads and the vegetables. At a certain point, once your body's rebalanced and the addictions are gone, you will not be able to overeat any of them. You can't. You can't, because the body knows exactly what to do with fruits. But can you overeat chocolate? Can you overeat cookies? Can you overeat cake? Can you overeat pasta? Bread? 100%. You can keep going and not stop. But if I was to tell you, I want you to have all day today just bananas and dates and lots of fruits and nothing else, you will stop at a certain point, not because you're full, but because you're satiated, and there's a difference. So get rid of the whole calorie theory. Can I put pineapples in my smoothie? Yeah, why not? You're going to end up with more smoothie, but yeah, why not? Date, I mean thumb. Yes, same thing. Repeat your reply, the fruits instead of salad. Yes, you can. You can do that. Here's the thing, like the easy sort of like cheat or trick or hack, as you want to call it. Anytime you feel like you can't have a meal, you can't have a salad, you can't have your veggies and your salad, but you can have fruits, do it. You don't need to ask me. Anytime you feel like it's too heavy, the vegetables, or it's too much the salad, I would really just rather have 2 bananas or maybe a fruit salad. 100% do it. And don't worry about it. Pineapples need to be fresh, not in a can. Correct. Yes, please, fresh. The ones in the can are full of added sugar, unfortunately, and maybe some types of preservatives. All good for today, ladies? You're going to be so, what's the word? Surprised. You won't believe how, in about, let's say, I want to say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you won't even remember this phase. That's why I want you to write it down a little bit as you go through it, right? You won't even remember this phase. It's that temporary. All right. You're so welcome. We'll see you all tomorrow, ladies. Same time, same place. Please post your questions. You can post your questions whenever you want. I will be available to answer them between 9 and 1. So keep that in mind. All right. Good night, ladies.